Hi, I'm Zaben, and today what came to me was the whole guilt, right? Feeling guilt and all that gunk that comes with it. So I've spent most of my life guilt-driven, just constantly guilt-driven. And it was this thing, this constant state of, oh my God, I'm always guilty, and it didn't even make any logical sense why I would feel guilty. It's not like I actually I ever killed somebody or stole something. It was just the notion of hurting someone's feelings or upsetting someone, or or just if I, in fear of if I become myself or give my opinion or, express myself in any way, I would feel guilty because I could easily feel the other person's pain, shock, disappointment, that inner feeling they feel. And I must add this, and there was my perception of how they would take it, because I wouldn't want to hurt them, because probably that would have hurt my feelings too, being a sensitive person. So there was so much muck happening, and I was basically living life through guilt. Guilt was my my intuition in a way. It was so weird, because I would feel things, I would know things. I'm sure all of you have gone through this, or most of you have. Mainly those empath souls, or the highly sensitive souls, that we feel energetically other people's wounds, other people's pains, other people's child self. And so what I'm trying to say is that as I started to go deeper within self and figure things out, of course working with my clients, that was just superb to actually see it outside of myself play out within their lives also. And as I came to discover my soul gifts and spend more time with myself and uncover things about me, discovering those soul gifts, I noticed that the guilt started to subside. I have noticed that guilt is basically and only a way in which I could abuse myself. So this is what came to me, and I wrote it down. Guilt is self-abuse. And what abusers also use to bring us, to manipulate us to do as they desire, right? So if I am guilt-driven all the time, which basically oppresses me from being me in all forms, I'm in constant denial of my pain, my shame, my sadness, my opinions, always in fear of upsetting somebody else, or thinking that I'm the cause of their pain due to me having an opinion, saying no to something, choosing my time schedule over theirs, expressing myself honestly and authentically, whenever I would be me, be in my anger and be okay to be angry, be in my sadness and be okay to present myself sadly, anything that represented who I am in that specific moment in time, and I would express it, would cause me to feel guilt when I would start to observe and notice how this person is absorbing, digesting, taking this information I am sharing, or who I am. And immediately I would spiral into, oh my God, I gotta fix it. What did I do wrong? You know, what is wrong with me? Why couldn't I just say yes? I'm so selfish. I'm choosing me. Why can't, you know, everybody's allowed to have an opinion. Like, I don't need to express my opinion. I need to give people freedom. And I would just really be disgusting to myself. Like, I would start really like shaming me and like putting me down, and truly abusive. I mean, abusive. Like, I didn't need abusive partners or relationships to teach me how to abuse myself. I did it really well alone. And that's what guilt is. Guilt is self-abuse. And that's what I was going through most of my life until I truly uncovered my soul gift. Like, I don't even know how to explain soul gifts. You've got to try it out to know it. I'm sure some of you have touched base with it, where you're like in this confidence. You're in but not in an arrogant way, because I always thought being confident was arrogant, or caring for who I am is selfish. Only to discover that all that was nonsense, because I'm not a narcissistic person. Like, I'm not out there to hurt people on purpose to feel fulfilled or control others to feel in power, but I'm more compassionate. I want to help and be of service a lot, yet I discovered that when I needed to be of service to myself, or honor who I am, or respect myself, that would only make me feel guilty. Like, I would be guilty to be kind to myself, or to appreciate who I am. Can you imagine? Like, yes, I'm not saying I'm guilt-free completely, but I'm nowhere close to how guilt-driven I was. I would say yes to things that internally and intuitively I would feel no. I would take courses, agree with people, say yes, great idea to others, when internally I want no. And it had ruined so many aspects of my life. Like, what I intuitively would know, I would deny because of guilt. Because what I would tell myself stuff, the crap I would say is, how do you know? You don't know any better. You this, you that. Oh, they had such a great idea. You don't want to put their idea down. Just go with it. Oh, you know, you don't want to embarrass the person you're taking the course with by telling them you're not interested in the course. You know, just take it. Maybe there's something good in there. Or somebody would say something hurtful and I would feel it internally. It was like, no, that's not incorrect. Like, that is, I feel disrespected. I feel humiliated. And I'd be like, oh, I'm sure they didn't mean it. I would rather not say anything to upset and hurt their feelings, but it's okay to hurt my feelings. My feelings are okay to be hurt. And that was pretty abusive. I was the greatest abuser of me, because I was not allowed to speak. I was not allowed to have an opinion. I was not allowed to say no. I was not even allowed to say yes if everybody else was saying no. And somehow I had brainwashed myself to believe that my guilt, my secret guilt, was really me being easygoing, right? I had to like figure out a way to agree with the abusive version of me that was inside, to see that it was doing something good for me. However, it wasn't. So, did you guys resonate with this? How many of you have actually felt this way? Like, you're like toxic to you. You're like so toxic. Like, you don't need a narcissistic, toxic partner to abuse you. You're just great at doing it on your own, right? And these partners show up just like as mirrors to show us how we speak to ourselves and how much we have such hate and shame of who we are, right? I've come to notice that I'm not driven by guilt. It can show up, and when it does, I just know what it is now, because I've sat with that version of me that has been feeling guilty, that is constantly needing to smile to cheer up others, regardless of where I'm at. So that was abusive too. It's like having like my inner child, my younger me, is sad right now, but because I'm in the presence of others, I'm going to pretend I'm happy because I don't want to be a burden on anyone, or I'm not worthy to feel sad, or I don't want to feel guilty that I cause somebody else to feel sad or feel my energy, because I'm so aware of energy. So I like lock it in and I put on this facade of like, my life is wonderful, all is great, tell me about you, let me take care of you, because I don't matter to me, because I'm unworthy, because I'm so afraid to feel guilty, because my guilt abuses the hell out of me. So guilt is abuse, right? And then when we get into narcissistic relationships with toxic partners, self-centered, entitled beings, and we're already guilt-driven, and they press the buttons of guilt to get what they want, that's so easy because they're speaking to us the way we speak to ourselves. So it feels a little worse hearing it from the outside, because that we don't want to hear others talk to us the way we talk to ourselves, God forbid, but they speak to us the same way we speak to us, in such a disgusting, humiliating way. However, we can tolerate it because we have a capacity of tolerating our own abusive nature to ourselves. And so we're like, oh, that's normal. Yeah, he's just, this person is seeing what I'm naturally seeing about myself. I hate this about me. I hate this about me. I dislike this. I think I'm strong and confident when I'm really not. And I start to pretend to be the person that I am completely not, and okay with being abused because I feel that I deserve it. I mean, if this is the way I speak to myself, how would I know any better that how this person speaking to me is completely unacceptable? How would I know that the way this person, this other being who's entered my life that is toxic, is abusive, if that's the same way I speak to myself deep within myself? If I think of myself in all these horrible ways, why would I ever think that that person is abusing me? Isn't this just super insightful? So as I started to uncover and oh my God, and I really jammed with my soul gifts, and I really sat with myself so often that I would be like, oh, I'm so abusive to me. Everyone else matters but me. I'm last on the list. So today I encourage you all to understand guilt. It's just an abusive way that we have been taught to talk to ourselves, to humiliate ourselves in that form, so that we can never truly be who we are, right? We don't ever give ourselves the right to value ourselves and our worth, right? Because we are guilt-driven. Now it's time to release that and to come to terms with the true meaning of guilt. So this is something that really works. This is a technique that's just profound. Of course, I had to go through many, but I'm just going to give you in the nutshell how you can help yourself through this. Let's say guilt shows up. That guilt version of you shows up. Prior to reacting to guilt, right? Because guilt only promotes within you more self-abuse. Just sit there and say, there is guilt. Oh my God, I feel it. That guilty version of me is coming up, and that's okay. I allow that guilty version of me to exist. There's nothing I need to do right now. I will not react to guilt. I will just be with the guilt. Right, so now what we've done is you've given yourself breathing space between that guilty version. Oh my God, how dare I say that? Who do I think I am? Oh, these people will never speak to me. I'll be alone forever, and all that horrible, you're such a shitty person. Like, what's this crap you're telling your people, and you think you're better than everybody else, and you think you're all that's nonsense, right? And you just sit there and be like, okay, that's the version of me that is guilty, and then breathe. And breathe out. And then breathe in again. And breathe out. And for the last time, you breathe in. And breathe out. Just say, the guilty version of me, you're allowed to exist in here. You're just another version of me. I am many things, and you're just one of them. And you can exist here, and I understand where you're coming from. You've been so abused. I understand. And I love you just the way you are. With all your freakouts, I love you just the way you are. I do. Okay? And just find that space between you and guilt, because you're not guilt. You're just experiencing it right this moment, right? And then breathe in and breathe out. And as you do that, you'll see the difference. Now, once you calm down, get a paper and pen. There's nothing better than paper and pen. It's like magic on its own. Get a paper and pen. Start writing down what the guilty version of you keeps telling you. Write it all down. Get it out into the open. Bring it from the darkness, the shadow, into the light. And how do we bring things into the light? We write them down. We express them to ourselves. We see them for what they are. We allow them to be, right? We don't keep hiding them in the dark. We just, okay, here it is. Start writing out all the stuff that guilty version of you tells you, and notice how abusive it is. And just look at that and look at it deeply and keep repeating it and saying, wow, that is pretty abusive. Do I truly deserve to be spoken to this way? Do I truly deserve to disrespect myself this way? Do I truly deserve to humiliate myself this way? Is this something that I deserve? Was I born to be spoken to this way? And just sit with the list and look at it, and then make another column, get another paper, and write down all the ways that your abusive partners, your family, your toxic, whatever kind of disrespectful conversations you had encountered throughout your life journey, even as a child, write those down on another list, right? And if you've experienced narcissistic partners, write down what they had told you, and you're going to notice a similarity. Now you can really disassociate and say, I've been the abuser all along to me. Do I deserve to be that abused? And with that, you've bought it in the light. And with that, you have bought it in the light. Okay? That's just one of the many techniques, but this is the foundation of it. This is the platform to move forward with that. This was my guiding light. This is how, right? It freed me up to find my soul gifts. It freed me up to respect myself, to honor who I am, to value me. Since I too deserve to be of value like everybody else I value and respect, right? So do that, and I do recommend for you to watch the video I have. I'll keep it up here for you to look at. I really recommend that, because there's another technique that you could use once you discover that, and it's more of like how to go anti-clockwise, and the miracle of how this universe works, and the shadow, and how we keep following the shadow, yet the universal law is following the light. So watch that video and once you do this technique, then go into that one if you want to take it deeper and unravel yourself from those beliefs. And of course, if you need a deeper session, just get in touch with me. You've got all my information there, and we'll have private sessions together to free you up. Anyway, so this for me was extraordinary. I am happy that I spoke it out into the open. I do recognize that guilt is not my drive anymore. Self-respect is, and respecting others, including myself, and knowing where my boundaries are and where I stand in comparison to others has really helped. So I hope this was helpful for you. Leave me your comments all the time. Just leave me your comments. It really makes a difference for me to hear your feedback, what you think. If you have questions, ask your questions. I'm really good at responding back automatically through my psychic abilities. I will get information for you. So ask me your questions. Tell me how this worked for you, what revealed, what uncovered, and I'll see you on another episode. All right, love ya. Bye.